Hey guys, it's Christina. How's it going? Well, this week I'm getting all ready for parent-teacher conferences. I feel like there's always a lot to do and a lot to get ready, and I feel like I'm never fully ready for parent-teacher conferences. But over the years, I feel like I've gotten better at them, luckily, and I've learned some really great things to include in them. So I thought it'd be really cool to have you guys just kind of follow along with me as I get ready for a parent-teacher conference. So if you want to see how I do those, then please keep watching. Okay, just to start everything off, I thought it would be good to just write down a whole list of everything I need to accomplish throughout the week. That's something that keeps me organized because sometimes I'll forget about stuff. So I try to put all into a list so I don't forget it and it's all there and I can just check it off as I do it. My coworker came in and told me about this, one of the teachers on my team. She's so awesome, but she told me about Google Keep and I cannot believe I've never used it because it's so awesome and it's so up my alley. You can basically have all these different checklists and you can go through and add to them, of course, check stuff off as you do them. You can also create a list and you can share it with your team or something like that. So I've started to use it as a daily checklist, and I've also decided to put everything in it that I need to do for I call them SCPs, but it's parent-teacher conferences. And we actually even changed the name to something else this year too. So I'll try to keep everything straight. And I'm just gonna say parent-teacher conferences. That's what I'll try to say. All right, I would strongly recommend, I understand if it's maybe too late this year, but maybe another year. I mean, you could maybe do this year. Putting together some kind of a binder, some way for them to track their progress or to have interactive material in it. I know for me, it's been a game changer and it's really showed the kids where they're at. And it's nice to have all those materials right in front of them that they're going to use throughout the whole year. It's also really good for them to be more self-paced with their learning. And I can go into that in more detail, but I'll just say having some kind of a binder or a portfolio of some sort with all their materials they've been using and working on throughout the year is really great because they can show their parents all that stuff they've been doing. And it's just really awesome. Okay, the awesome thing about this year is my team and I, of course, we put together binders for math and for language arts, and we have all the different units we've been doing with menus and checklists and items for them to do. And so it's going to be pretty easy, I feel at SCPs for those materials to be ready because they've already been using them. So I would definitely suggest maybe in years moving forward, or maybe you could do it this year. We put together a whole math binder and then a language arts binder. And like I said, we put all the units in it, all the materials we're learning throughout the year, and we can just refer to it. We have interactive notebooks in it. We have little rings with root words and different things. We also have we're doing a 40-book challenge. That's all in there. So it's all there in their binders. And some years I feel I'm scrambling to get everything ready. But this year I feel it should be easier because of those things being set up and ready. So I feel putting things like that into your teaching is gonna help you be ready for parent-teacher conferences, because you'll have all the materials laid out and the kids will know where they're at too, because you'll be showing them and telling them, and you use that throughout the whole year. So another thing I like to do with those binders is to put a few of the things we've been doing into it so the kids can actually show some of their work. Some of their work will automatically be in there, but one thing I like to do is they have this essay program where they submit their essays onto it and it scores them in all these different areas. So I actually like to print those off so they can actually show their parents their essays, and they can their parents can see firsthand how their writing is looking. I also like to print off their work, and I'll put one essay out into the hall, maybe our most recent one, so when they come in or they're going out, they can look at that essay as well, because sometimes they might be waiting for maybe their conference, and so they have something to do out there and talk to their child about. before they come in. So I think that's also been really awesome too. Another huge and key part of the parent-teacher conferences that I do is, of course, giving them like their report card or their progress report. I honestly used to dread these. Like I used to think like, oh, here we go, these are so hard to do, because we were doing that and then we were doing grades also, so we were doing like both. But now we just grade them on the standards, which is so nice. And we actually have changed a lot of our grading to follow the same scale that we actually use on our progress reports. We also have like a little checklist of some of the essentials we'll put into their binders so that we can cross stuff off as they do it. Anyway, we grade on this scale of 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 is on grade level, 2 and 1 is approaching, and then 4 is beyond. And I use that for most of my assignments. And so when I'm putting things into their actual report cards, it just makes it so much easier. So another thing that I really like to do, I had another teammate tell us about this, and I think it's awesome. We actually, besides like grading them on like math and language arts and science and all of that stuff, we also grade them on like learning dispositions and career skills. And so sometimes that's kind of tricky to do. So one thing I really like to do is we actually printed out the different standards or learning dispositions, and we like broke them down a little bit, and we actually have the kids score themselves on how they think they're doing in each area. And I'll actually kind of like walk them through it as they fill it out, and I'll tell them like what would be a yes or what would be a no, you know. And it's really great because the kids are now aware of the stuff they're being scored on, and they are like a part of it. And I tell them, I will look at it and I will just decide if I agree with it or not. So it's not like it's all of them just grading themselves 100%. I look at it and I decide if I agree, but it gives me like a starting point and something to like look at and think about when I'm putting them in. It's been awesome. So I really like doing like something like that with them. All right, another thing that my school tends to do that I actually have liked quite a bit, it is extra work, but it has been good, and I think the parents have really benefited from it. Sorry, I have something on my face. Is we'll like tell them what the benchmark is, maybe for language arts or math for a certain test, and we'll tell them exactly what they scored on it, and we'll say if that score is at grade level, below, well below, or beyond. And I think it's kind of an eye-opener for the parents, because they'll see like, oh, now I really know what this score means, you know, and now I know how they stand with the rest of the grade level. Our first parent-teacher conference for this year, we actually made like a whole pie chart or circle graph, whatever, and we put all their scores on it. Like we put how many kids were well below, how many were below, how many were at, and then how many were beyond. And then we told them where their kid was at on that like little graph. And I think that was eye-opening for them. Of course, like the graph didn't have all the kids' names on it. It just had like the colors and stuff. But something like that also might be good, so they know where their child is at. And I think sometimes it's hard for them to see something like that, but they need to see it. They need to know, especially so they can be aware and they can help out as much as they can at home. So, and I think that awareness is just key for them. Also, you may want to check out another video I filmed a while back. It's called Student-Led Conferences and like how I do those. So if you want to see like how I put the students more in charge of the conferences, you'll have to watch that as well. I'll link it in the description. So anyway, again, like a lot of the way I do these conferences is student-led. I do talk, you know, during these conferences, but the kids will do quite a bit of it, which I think makes it really nice. Okay, the next thing I like to do are like those housekeeping types of things. Like I want to make sure my room looks presentable and clean and organized. So I'll try to do what I can to have the kids like clean out their desks and like help me wipe stuff down to make sure the room's looking pretty good. I'll also try to make sure my desk is pretty clear and everything's organized. Just because like I want to put my best foot forward, and I don't want like the parents coming in, it looks like everything's a mess and like it's chaos or something like that. So I try to like make things really presentable, and of course like have something out in the hall ready for them to see, and like all the little things in place so like you're ready to go. Another thing I like to do is have like my schedule printed out so I know like which conferences I have on what days. So the way that my school does it is we set up like a Google calendar, and we'll make like little appointment slots, and the parents will just sign up through email, or they can email me and I'll also sign them up for a spot. But that's really nice too, because you know, it can set up reminders, or maybe we need to do like a Google Meet or something like that. So I think that's been pretty good. I decided this year just to write some of them into my planner, so as I'm planning throughout the day I can just see them, like all the times listed and who's coming for that day. So that's personally how I wanted to do it, but make sure you like know who you have coming what days, so you have like your stuff ready to go for that. Okay guys, that's pretty much how I do my parent-teacher conferences, or like how I set up for them or get ready for them. Hope this gave you guys a few ideas. I always love getting new ideas, so seriously, like if you guys have anything you've been doing that I didn't mention, please comment down below. I would love to hear it. Yeah, well, if anybody else has conferences coming up, I wish you luck. I hope they go well. And yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.